Sign up today for a 7-day free trial at alerts.chartguys.com. Hello everyone, checking in on the cryptocurrency space. Before we get into it, got to give a shout out to one of our members who turned into one of our moderators. But he's been putting out some crypto content. His site or his page is Kinetic Crypto. Definitely worth a follow. And his videos are pretty entertaining. He's way better at editing than I am. And it's more fundamentals, but some good info there. His most recent one is about rate cuts and the global economic impact that we're seeing have on Bitcoin. And it's worth a follow. So getting into it overnight, we saw a lot of wild, choppy action. And I call it the battle of the bots, because it just shows us that, in my opinion, there's no retail trading here. And just what I'm looking at when I say this is looking at the 5-minute time frame to show this action. And it's just all this back and forth and big bull move, rejected by the bears, bulls buying dips, just a ton of back and forth action. And that, in my opinion, is a indication that, number one, there's a lack of retail volume. Really, it's just bots going crazy on each other. And it's a battle zone. And I can say it's a battle zone because key resistance was 12,147. And all of this was going on just about 1% below that resistance level. So where we stand bigger picture, the most important thing for me, well, let's go big picture, weekly time frame. The most important thing here is we held exponential support. That keeps the bulls in complete control of the longer term time frame. And you can say that if we hold this 12-period exponential support into the end of the year, we're going to be looking at 20,000. If we lose it, that's a different story and monthly consolidation will be underway. That's entirely possible as well, but we can certainly say that as long as that exponential moving average is support, we're looking up towards that all-time high. So that's scenario number one in terms of the longer term outlook. The daily time frame, as we know, this bounce was a significant, and it was fueled a little bit by the global economic action going on, the trade war with China, the dump in the US markets. The most important thing that I'm watching on the daily is the pattern of a higher low every single day. So we have higher lows every day now, 11 days in a row. And as long as that is the case, the bulls have absolute full control. When we lose that pattern, we're going to look to the daily exponential moving averages and see if the bulls are going to be able to hold that level to form a daily higher low. Because if we can, again, bulls keep complete control. Burden of proof remains on the bears. What the bears have to do is see a pullback significant enough on the daily to lose the exponential support, and then that opens the door for the potential to lose the daily uptrend eventually. But what we know is that the next time we do consolidate on the daily, we are extremely likely to form a higher low because the last daily higher low was $9,109. So again, bulls have a ton of space to work with. Let's zoom in a bit further. The 12-hour time frame, exponential support holding, and an equilibrium forming here. We have our high, low, lower high, and we're looking down towards that low of 11,815, and the bulls need to hold that level to stay in this tightening pattern. And it's actually 11,187 is that level. I gave the wrong number. So, tightening 12-hour range on watch. 4-hour time frame, you can see it as well, where we've got our high, low, lower high, higher low, lower high, still holding 4-hour exponential supports. So many exponential supports on so many time frames. Obviously, the bulls are more comfortable than the bears are. I would be watching the 12-hour time frame for the most clarity. Did end up taking a small loss of a trade last night because I was looking at that action on the 5-minute time frame, and I said, all right, something's up here with this battle of the bots going on, and it looked to me like the bear bots had their back against the wall, if bots have backs, and they were really trying with everything they had to prevent from that bull break occurring. So I was going out for the night, and I wasn't going to be looking at my computer for the next 10 hours, so I said rather than being all cash, it's been a good week, I can be a little bit more aggressive. I'm going to take a position up here in case we get that bull break, and if we break 12,130 whatever, 12,147, I'm going to assume that a break of 12,320 would come right after that, and then there's a lack of resistance up there. So I entered in the 11,900s, and I have my stop under 11,800, just using a bunch of 5-minute higher lows, and my risk was about $200, and my reward was $400 plus, and we ended up pulling back and rejecting from that, and ended up getting stopped out. So that's my first small loss in a long time in the cryptocurrency space. But again, just want to share that because there's definitely losers along the way. And it may seem like I'm only talking about winners. but that's because it's been a very good 2019 for trading cryptocurrency as a bull. So with that small loss, that just now takes away my aggressiveness and says, all right, back to the usual grind. And in the end, it ended up taking away pretty much the last bull trade that I had with some quick flips. So no big deal, big picture. So I'm going to patiently wait from here, and the play will be either to look for a 12-hour high or low. If we were to drop down and get to hourly oversold conditions, I would make an entry looking for the 12-hour high or low off of 11,187. Other than that, I'm just going to patiently wait. And it's possible that the hourly oversold conditions would line up with the 12-hour exponential support as well. So patience up here at this point. Bears are top fishing here. Bears have orders, or could have orders, and exit if we break these 12,000, these low 12,000 levels, and hope for a pullback. The odds are not in their favor because it's against the trend. But as long as that risk is managed, it is a potential play to be looking for daily consolidation. So checking in on other names, ETH BTC or ETH USD, the dollar pairing, is still in its tightening range. And we did get a bull break, but again, just no follow through. So we have to be cautious of the weekly bear flag. And again, ETH BTC, still all bears, confirmed its bear flag. Again, it's almost like looking into the future. It's entirely possible Ethereum does this as well with the US dollar pairing, because this is the same bounce attempt that we see here without a whole lot of follow through. We will look for Ethereum to form a daily high or low compared to 204. So I don't expect a bear break anytime in the immediate future, but just aware that this is nowhere near proving any strength. And looking at it on the weekly time frame shows us that. We pulled back, really just 2 weeks, we pulled back from 318 down to 190. That's a $128 pullback. And at this point, we bounced about $50. So a pretty weak bounce, big picture. Bulls definitely need more follow through. And the ETH BTC chart is going to see a daily oversold bounce soon, in my opinion, but it's not going to change the trend. It's just going to be a lower high, and we'll have daily exponential resistances to be watching, which could potentially just reject any bounce attempt. So Litecoin also looking fairly weak, 87.19 support. Then we're looking down at 83.27. You could say the daily higher low has been lost because we formed a higher low at 90.52, saw continuation, and then broke support. So that's a bearish break. The weekly time frame is a potential weak bounce bear flag as well. It's the head and shoulders pattern that's a possibility, and the LTC BTC chart dropped below that support level that was trying to hold. The weekly bear flag here has been confirmed, and we're looking down now at 688. So again, altcoins continuing to get crushed. Even the major altcoins are getting crushed compared to Bitcoin. And in my opinion, a lot of that, the recent, has to do with this most recent leg down, confirming the weekly bear flags. In my opinion, has to do because of CNBC. And again, this narrative that's being spun, whether you call Bitcoin a safe haven or not, just the fact that sometimes CNBC talks about that. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. They're not talking about Litecoin and Ethereum. The attention in the headlines goes to the major player of Bitcoin at this point, and that's where the little retail money, again, I don't think there's a lot of retail money trading this space right now, and the little bit that is coming in is focused on Bitcoin because of that media attention. So again, being very patient. I know that we will likely see a momentum shift with Litecoin and Ethereum and other altcoins gaining on Bitcoin, but until we change the daily trends on these BTC bearing charts, we just look the other way. Look at the stronger names, because we've been in daily downtrends at this point for multiple months, and it keeps us from trying to get in too early. If we just say, I'll be interested when we change the daily trend. Will I nail the bottom? No, but I will wait for the momentum shift. XRP USD, also weak. Support breaking. We broke support of 3087. Now we're looking down at 2988 and 282. And again, it's a potential weak bear flag on the weekly time frame. And the bulls, if they're going to prove anything, I would have to see a break of 332, which is the highest price we've seen in the last 2-3 weeks. Binance perfection. If I had a textbook of technical analysis, this would go in it for perfect equilibrium bull break play. So tightening range formed. When we did the last video, we said a break is imminent, and there's probably going to be a trade based off of it. And waiting for the break of 28.77. If that was your signal, let's say you got in at 28.80 with a stop buy, we ran all the way up to 31.75. So that is a solid 9% move or so. And even if you only nail, let's say you scale out a bit early, 4%, 5%, that is a trade that is absolutely worthwhile. Even if you just stalked that trade for a week, and then when you finally get that 4 or 5%, that's absolutely worth it. Ideally, what my play would be, enter on the bull break, exit half after perhaps 3%, and then just use the daily uptrend as my stop level from there, because anything above 27.08 is just a daily high or low, and 32.60 key resistance is approaching. Last, we got Link. So again, Link at this point, $2 is the must hold level. I would expect $2 to hold and for a daily high or low to form, but again, just being very cautious and very patient. If you were looking to play this name, the best case scenario for the bulls would be an inverse head and shoulders pattern where we hold $2 and then we turn around and break resistance of 277 and 284. Have to break both of those levels to change the daily trend. It's possible, but certainly need a complete shift where we're at the low of consolidation right now. So I would be patiently waiting for the momentum shift if I'm going to get interested. So again, patiently waiting on Binance paid off. Have to wait for daily trend changes. We were in a daily downtrend. We had not changed the daily trend back to the bulls since that all-time high. It's been lower highs and lower lows since then. Even that big bounce was just a daily lower high. And then we finally changed that momentum, and it was a worthwhile bull trade off of it. So that's where we stand. I appreciate you watching. Hope you do good things out there. I forget what we're going to end it with here as far as videos go. We'll see. See you next time. Have a good day.